and welcome to the Southeast Iowa Union News Break. I'm your host, Nick Steffens. Getting into the top stories, the Washington County Board of Supervisors narrowly approved a preliminary plat in a 3-2 vote Tuesday morning after nearly 80 minutes of discussion at their regular meeting. Those in favor said the subdivision proposed by Todd Hahn construction was badly needed. That part of the county is the only place Washington County is growing. The southern tier of the county is not. In fact, it's shrinking. So we talked about the need for housing in the county and so on, and I think this is a good way of doing that. Several residents in the area, however, have concerns about the development. Those worries generally fall into one of three camps. The first is runoff and flooding issues. Some residents nearby said the subdivision would make water issues worse, including George Garrett of a property owner in the area who claimed engineers failed to assess the development's impacts. This will increase flood risk to areas downstream that are already experiencing flooding due to prior developments by this developer. The whole purpose of the subdivision ordinance is to stop this kind of development from occurring. I don't see how this body can approve this plat. Fedler said that the concern had been addressed after a consultant to the developer presented plans for the water diversion at the subdivision that included a retention pond. Not doing anything doesn't address the situation, Fedler said. By doing this, we actually help it, not hinder it. Right now, everything flows over that hill and right into the creek. At least this way, a large portion of it is detained. By not doing this, I think it creates a bigger problem. The second camp regards the demand of new subdivision would have on well water. That field has not had water for wells in the past, said Lloyd Miller, resident of the area. They have storage tanks that aren't staying full. How are we going to supply water to 24 more homes? I want somebody to address that point. Fedler, who had been involved in the development's previous planning and zoning meetings about the proposed subdivision, said the concern was misinformed. My understanding from the meeting was that there are 3 wells there, only 2 currently are being used, and only one of those technically is being used. They cycled the 2. They've done a report on that and it returned that they have plenty of water for 24 more houses, so I don't think that's a significant issue. I think that's been looked at and addressed. A handful of residents said they were also worried about roads. Area resident Mary Ann Parton said she was worried about the road through the proposed subdivision. 135th Street is gravel road for roughly half a mile off of Highway 218. After that, it becomes a dirt level B road with minimal maintenance. Supervisor Jack Seward Jr. said the county was already in talks with the developer regarding that road, where he expected the company to stay cooperative. Supervisors Stan Stoops and Bob Yoder voted against the resolution. The two said they needed more time to think on the matter. For me, there's some unanswered questions, Yoder said. I'm not against the subdivision in itself, but I think we need to do some more discussions. More questions need to be answered. The recycling center operated by Wamega has stopped recycling glass in Washington. Wamega Waste Management owner Lynn Whaley said there just wasn't a place to sell recycled glass anymore, thanks to market shifts in the last several years. I want to keep that door open in case we do get a market for it, he said. The market for glass is just not there. In order to say we're recycling, you have to take it to Kansas City. The feasibility is just next to impossible for the quantity. While it won't be recycled, the facility still is taking in separated glass waste. Whaley said he hoped a door would eventually open to make it marketable again. Looking at Westchester, Elm Avenue will close to through traffic between G38 and Highway 92 for construction starting Monday, August 29th. The project will involve regrading of the road to restore the road cross-section, improve ditch drainage, and place a new rock surface. The contract for this project was awarded to DeLong Construction of Washington for just under $550,000 and is part of Washington County's 5-year road improvement plan. Questions pertaining to the project should be directed to the county's engineer's office at 319-653-7731. That was our top stories. It is now time for obituaries. Dennis Stout of Ainsworth passed away on August 24th at the age of 83. Services are pending at Jones Eden Funeral Home in Washington. Sandra K. DeWolf of Washington passed away on August 23rd at the age of 82. Services will be held at 10:30 a.m. on August 27th at Beatty Funeral Home in Washington. Roger D. Gillis Sr. of Ainsworth passed away on August 21st at the age of 74. A celebration of life will be held at 2 p.m. on August 27th at the Ainsworth Opera House. Jesse Franklin Albright passed away on August 23rd at the age of 90. A funeral service will be held at 10:30 a.m. August 26th at the Jones and Eden Funeral Home. Jones and Eden Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. We're going to take a brief break, and when we come back, we will have the weather and sports.
Since 1905, Kelowna Cooperative Technology Company has helped our community stay connected with the latest advancements in clear, dependable telecommunications services. KCTC provides rural Iowans with access to high-speed fiber internet, as well as phone, television, computer repair, and cybersecurity solutions. We're also proud supporters of local organizations and area schools within the community. KCTC, keeping Kelowna connected.
Welcome back to the Southeast Iowa Union News Break. I'm your host, Nick Steffens. We have sports coming up, but first, the weather.
The weather is brought to you by Jacqueline Ariola, LLC.
Come visit Jackie in her new location downtown. She is ready to serve Washington and the surrounding community. Today is partly cloudy with a high of 86 and a low of 63. Tomorrow, it will remain partly cloudy but be slightly cooler with a high of 82. Looking at the weekend, it'll be mostly cloudy with a high of 84 on Saturday. Sunday, we can expect thunderstorms with a high of 82. We will start our work week with some rain as well, a 40% chance for scattered thunderstorms and a high of 85 on Monday. That was the weather. It is now time for sports.
Sports, brought to you by Fairway.
While Washington Volleyball lost 6 seniors in 2021, they returned a lot of talent this fall. Seniors Alex Murphy and Haley Mitchell will lead the Demons throughout the 2022 season. Murphy led the way in the kill department, and Mitchell rounded up the most assists in the setter position back in 2021. Senior Kenny Liz Espinoza also will be an important piece on the offensive attack. Espinoza was also big on the defensive end, finishing with the second most digs on the team last time around. The Demons bring back 11 players to the varsity squad, which includes 3 seniors, 4 juniors, 4 sophomores, and doesn't account for the incoming freshman class. After a tough start to the season in which the Demons lost 13 straight, they started to find their groove late. The Demons show that they can compete with the best in the Southeast Conference, taking Mount Pleasant the distance on a number of occasions, and even defeated SEC runner-up Fairfield once. Washington has the tangibles to fight for the league this season. Their 2022 schedule is as follows. August 25th, they are home against Mid-Prairie, and then on the 27th, away against Grinnell. They'll have 2 more away games after that as well. First against Burlington, the next against Anamosa. Then they'll be back home against Keokuk, followed by another road trip against Mount Pleasant, and then against Ottumwa. Back home against Fort Madison, and then away against Fairfield. On October 4th, they will have the SEC tournament at home, and then October 8th, there will also be a home tournament. October 11th, 13th and 17th all have away games. There'll be the first one in Fort Madison, then in Columbus, and on October 17th, that is regionals. That's the news for Washington, Iowa, and the surrounding area. I've been your host, Nick Steffens. This is the Southeast Iowa Union News Break, and I will see you next time.